Welcome to the next episode of Top Shelf Podcast. What's going on, everybody? How you doing today, Marcus? How you
What's up?
doing? What's going on?
Um, Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's actually sunny for once. You know what I mean? It's like God bless the United States of America,
God
first of
bless.
all.
Today, the big topic we really want to talk about is we're going to be prematurely rating where every team is going to go next year in their division. So there's the four divisions. We're going to break it down. We each have our own list. We haven't compared lists yet, so we're not going to know where we put the teams. So we'll start off with the Atlantic Division, if that sounds good with you, man.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
when we know the best.
The best. So obviously the East is the best right now, I would say, in hockey. Do you agree with that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the East has some pretty competitive teams. So I'll start with the Atlantic, and then you can read yours off, and then we'll talk about why we did it this way. So
Right,
for
go
my
ahead.
Atlantic Division 2023-2024, my Atlantic Division goes the Toronto Maple Leafs is number one, the Boston Bruins is number two, the Tampa
Whoa.
Bay Lightning at number three, the Florida Panthers at number four, the Detroit Red Wings at number five, the Buffalo Sabres at number six, the Ottawa Senators at seven, and the Montreal Canadiens at eight.
Wow. I had Toronto at first, but I will say I have Buffalo. This is just early. I have
Mhm.
Buffalo sneaking in as a wild card, as a fourth.
Okay.
I will say, because while they're still young, I feel like they're a team that is, they were what 1 point away last year,
Yeah.
right? They got some young dogs on that team, and as soon as I saw Devin Levi get in there, I'm like a full season of that guy. I got them sneaking into the playoffs next year, and this is obviously early. You know what I'm saying? So you never know what's gonna happen.
Hey, man,
But
listen, I never said that Buffalo wasn't getting into the
no,
playoffs.
I know, but I feel like they could sneak in as like a surprise team
They could.
because they're exciting, man. They're exciting to watch. I'm rooting for them over like even maybe the Bruins because it's like I don't even know what they're doing. So it's
The
you know what I
Buffalo
mean.
Sabres have to have like the most exciting team right now in the NHL, I would say. I don't think they're quite there. I was really hoping Buffalo would acquire like one more piece. And
Yeah.
then I would be like, yeah, like similar to what the Red Wings did, man, with that DeBrincat thing. That's why I'm putting the Red Wings over because
Hmm.
that's a nice piece.
It
And
is a
they're
good
in
piece.
Yeah, and dude, they're in talks for Nylander too. Like,
What?
yeah,
What
dude,
do you mean?
the three teams I've seen Nylander surrounded the most in, if he leaves the Leafs, is the Red Wings, the Avs, and what was that third one? I'm drawing a huge
You,
blank.
you,
The
you,
Flames,
you're
the
joshing
Flames, the
out, but
Flames, Flames,
the Flames?
Flames. Yeah,
He's not going. He's not going to Calgary,
that
but
doesn't mean he's going to sign and go, but he could still be
right.
traded there. That it depends.
That would be cool to see him in a Detroit sweater because I looked at what they
Yeah,
have. They have like $30 million
yeah, that's
next
fine.
year. That's enough for Saida. That's enough for Raymond, and you already got DeBrincat on a sick deal for the kind of talent he is. So if you brought in a guy like Nylander, oh my God, the Iser plan is taking a turn.
Yeah.
Like they're taking a real turn. You know what I mean? I like where your rankings at. I kind of had the same thing. I just want to put out that I have Buffalo making the playoffs. They excited me this year. They're playing it safe, but they solidified their defense a little more. You know what I'm saying? Give some help for Devin Levi. I feel like they're going to be electric. I
So
feel like
you're
they're going to be
obviously then your list has to be a little bit different than mine. Who's on the way out?
on the way out.
What's your
Man.
list like order? What's your
All
order?
right, so I had Toronto first, right? Toronto first, and then it was hard to keep Boston out of it, but I put like oh my god, I feel like Tampa's moving off. You know what I'm saying? So I had Boston as second, Tampa as third, but instead of I don't know why I didn't put Florida, but instead I put Buffalo in there over Florida. Then I put the Panthers at five, Ottawa at six, Detroit at. I don't know why it was so hard
Oh,
to do this. It was
oh,
so
wow.
hard. It's
Yeah.
early, man,
It's the toughest division, so I agree completely.
because there are more weathered, experienced teams,
Yeah.
right? And the Leafs made
Mhm.
a lot of good moves. Tampa's still got like that core of guys, right? But it was just hard to take the Bruins off of it from my bias. You know what I mean? But I could see the big point for me was in my Atlantic rankings. I could see Buffalo making it, and
Yeah.
I
No,
was
no,
stressed to
honestly,
put what?
yeah, I wasn't. I'm not taking the Bruins out of it because you got to remember they didn't really lose much from what they were doing prior to the trade deadline. So it's not like the Bruins are going to be bad. The only piece you could say they lost was Patrice Bergeron. Really, David
Well,
Krejci
that's
wasn't a
yeah.
huge factor. So that's why I moved them down from the top spot
Mm,
because I think they get bumped down one, and I don't think they're going to go and do what they did last year. But like we've been talking about, I think the Tampa Bay Lightning have fallen off a little bit. And
right.
I don't know if it's fatigue or age or what's going on with the team, but I don't see them as the same threat that they once were. Do you?
You look at them and you just think how they're getting older. It's hard for them to figure out, certain contracts and everything. I think Stamkos is up by the end of next year. That's a big topic for them because he's the captain, you know what I mean? He's the guy. He's my goat. He's my goat, man. I grew up with bro. But besides the point, they have a lot of decisions to make where you look at how they've revamped the bottom six. You know what I mean? These moves they made, the team looks a lot different from those championship teams. Hedman has like little to no help on the defensive end, and it's costing his like Norris chances too. You see him dropping in the Norris voting, and it's because he doesn't have like Ryan McDonough. He doesn't have those guys.
Yeah, and honestly, I kind of completely agree with you there. The Lightning have a lot of upside players. They still have like Kucherov and Point, but if you lose Stamkos, I mean, your whole identity changes in that team. He's the guy. Like he's that guy, seriously, for the Lightning. And I don't see them getting rid of him, but I don't see him taking a deal. I mean,
Yeah,
he said that he wants to stay with the Lightning back when the Tavares year where he signed with Toronto. There was a lot of rumors about him going to Toronto as well. And he said he wanted to stay with the Lightning and then double down on it. I think it was like last year he said something about it. So,
right.
but I do see them declining. And Vasilevsky scared me in the playoffs this past year.
Yeah, yeah. No,
So,
he was good. He just doesn't have defensive help. I've always said a good goalie has a good defense. That's the
yeah,
truth. That's the
you're only
truth.
as strong as your blue line. So.
Yep. You're only as strong as your blue line. That's the
So
truth.
I think for the most part we agree. I think I have Detroit sneaking in because, like I said, they have that extra move of adding DeBrincat. Buffalo, though, hey, I want to see it. I loved watching them this year, and
The
send the Jedi to the playoffs, please.
the Atlantic, the young teams are coming up. Montreal's got a few years, but you have to watch out for Ottawa, Detroit, and Buffalo. One of them will, not could, will sneak in this year. And one of the elder teams will miss. I can guarantee you that. It might be Tampa, it might be us, it might be Florida. You don't know.
Well, I actually see it a
Don't
different
know.
way. I see 5 teams from the Atlantic making it, and 3 from the Metro.
Whoa. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I could see. Is that how the wild card works? Like
Yeah,
two
yeah,
wild
yeah,
cards?
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I see more Atlantic teams getting in, and the old teams that we're talking about, like the Capitals, the
Mm.
Islanders, those are the ones I see falling out. And the Islanders are still they have a good roster. So, but they were think about the teams that were competing this year, man. Have you ever seen a wild card race that was as cool as this one this year? The
Yeah, dude.
Penguins, the Islanders, the Senators, the Sabre. Like, dude, it was crazy.
It
So
was like down to the finish line.
yeah.
It was the butterfly effect. Remember the
Yeah.
butterfly effect? The
Yeah.
butterfly effect.
Yeah. The Chicago Blackhawks
The
beat the
Chicago.
Penguins, and that's what got the Florida Panthers into the playoffs. And then the Florida Panthers ended up going all the way to the Stanley Cup. So, I mean, I don't think it's that crazy for the two of us to assume that Buffalo could squeak in and potentially Detroit. Because
Mm.
Detroit, dude, they're like a year or two ahead of Montreal. And they have a good young goalie.
They have a good
So
young core.
they do, and that their D line Sider is going to be a stud. He's going to be a
Hmm.
stud. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much sums up the Atlantic Division. I would say that we both probably think that the Bruins, Lightning, and Maple Leafs are going to make it, and then Panthers, Detroit, and Buffalo are our 3 that we think will squeak in as the wild card competitors.
Right.
And now we can actually move on to the Metro Division because I think I might have a little bit of a different thing here than you. I picked a little bit of a different thing. So.
So you have five. So you have 5 teams making it from the Metro.
I don't. I'll talk
No,
about what I have. I said
no.
5 could, but I,
5
mi-
could.
I might. I might. I think I have more of Atlantic teams going than I do Metro.
Okay.
But there are some good teams here too. So this is how I see the Metro going. Number
Hmm.
1, New Jersey Devils. Number
Uh,
2, the New York Rangers. Number 3, the Carolina Hurricanes. Number 4, the Pittsburgh Penguins. Number 5, the New York Islanders. Number 6, the Blue Jackets. number 7 the Capitals, and number 8 the Flyers.
Dude.
And go ahead, read yours off, and then I'll explain why. Okay.
Okay, I think our top was exactly the same because I had our bottom was exactly the same because I had Devils at 1. Everybody's on the Devils train. We both are. We know that. I got Carolina at 2. Brendan Moore's coming. He's coming. He's still got dogs. He's got that team. He's a stud. Rangers at 3 because they still got a ton of star-studded power. Pittsburgh at 4 because they revamped that bottom 6. Islanders. Columbus needs a year or 2.
Mm-hmm.
Washington. Philly.
I kind of like that. I honestly thought you were going to have a little bit of the bottom difference. I didn't think you were going to put Columbus so high, and I thought you were going to roast me for that again because
Nah.
you know how much I love Columbus.
Yeah.
But I see them better than the Capitals. I
Yeah,
just
no,
do.
absolutely. Because we talked about it, I think, last episode. Washington runs through Ovi. It's just waiting for him to score. They're old. It's annoying. It's dumb. Columbus is building a young, fast team with the guys they're bringing in. Mostly Adam Fantilli, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, and they have a lot more upside, and they're going to be way better to watch than the Capitals would be. I still
Right.
love Ovechkin. He's one of my favorite players to watch, but when you have a retirement home as your team, we don't need to go into this again, but I see them benefiting more from rebuilding than I do continuing to do it. So,
Which I think is what they're doing, like, secretly. They're like, oh, we're trying to get Ovi's thing, but, like, secretly they're like, we stink and we gotta, like, draft guys.
yeah, they're too injured, and they're just up there. We went into this last time. If you want to listen to our Capitals rant, go to our last podcast. But let's just kind of break down our list. So obviously we talked about the New Jersey Devils. I genuinely believe, and I'm going to stick with this pick now and until the end of the year, the New Jersey Devils are winning the Stanley Cup. They have the coolest roster right now. I love everything about their roster except for their goalie. I want them to fix their goalies. I don't trust their goaltending, but everything else, their roster looks fantastic. And I think they're competing with the Maple Leafs as one of the best top 6 in the NHL. So to me, that Tyler Toffoli addition is massive. The Timo Meier signing is huge. We talked about their contracts, man. They have the best contracts right now with Hughes, with Jesper Bratt. And they also have that Timo Meier deal pretty locked down now, which is a good one for him too. So I don't think you disagree with me too much on that, unless you do.
I will say this. I think, obviously, as a team, you have to grow chemistry, right? That's the number one thing. And they're bringing in a lot of, fresh blood, a lot of fresh, like, players where, you spent half the year with Timo Meier. You're bringing in, some other guys. You're trying to bring in new goaltending. I think they still got to get that. You know what I'm saying? You got to get like a solid goaltender. You could find a solid goaltender in like your core, like in the back. You know what I mean? Because other teams have done it. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I need to see like good goaltending, like really solid goaltending, where it's like you don't have to worry about that come playoff time, where it's like, oh, but their goaltending's like who do they have this year? Schmid. I don't even know who it
Yeah,
was.
they had him, and then they had Vanacek from the
Yeah,
Caps the year before.
that's like nah. I want to be like, oh yeah, they got a guy.
Yeah,
They got a guy. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Like
Until
a
that
Jake
happens,
Ottinger kind of situation, something like
un-
that.
yeah. Until that happens, my Stanley Cup pick early is different. You know what I mean? So
Okay,
that's
so I want to hear your Stanley Cup pick, but we both agree Devils are probably going to win the division. They have a lot of hype and well deserved. Number 2, I picked the Rangers because Carolina's doing too much, man. They're
What do you
doing.
mean doing too much?
I feel like every time there's a new player going out, the Carolina Hurricanes are signing, and just like you said with the Devils, how can you build chemistry like that?
The differences between I feel like the differences between the Canes and the Devils is the Canes have been, making the conference finals for a while. They made it in 2019, swept. They've been hitting the second round a few times, but they're touching. They're at the peak. They're like scraping for the peak, right? Just to get a shot for the final boss, right? They got a great coach in Brenda Moore.
Facts.
They have developed a core group of guys. You know what I mean? I trust that team could even make the cup final this year if they want to. They just got to get over that hump. I
Yeah,
can put them that high. They can perform well in the regular season. They can.
but But like, let me tell you, man. I don't know if you know this statistic. The Carolina Hurricanes, their past three conference finals, they're 0-12.
Yeah, I know they've been swept like every single time.
I'm sorry. That shows me.
Yeah, yeah, it's like the Reggie Miller choke thing, right? But when you look at that, it's like, yeah, they're making. You could say they're doing too much. I think they're doing what needs to be done. You need to add. You're at that point in your window where you're like, okay, it's about a shut. We need to add a little more to keep the window, a bit open to let some air in. They got to have some air. You know what I mean? Bringing in
Yeah.
Orlov and who else did they bring in? I forget.
I thought they brought in Tarasenko, but apparently right before the deal went through, he fired his agent and didn't
Oh,
sign. So he
that's
was supposed
crazy.
to be there, but he didn't.
Drama. But no,
Drama.
the thing is like, you need to add in this window. You have to be bringing in guys. You're at that point where your core is good. You need to get guys to support the core,
Sure.
right? You need
Yeah.
to get guys who can support the main players. You know what I'm saying? And you gave Orlov a lot of money, but like he will help. He will help
Yeah,
because
yeah,
most of
but
their defense is like. Sorry to interrupt you. The most of their defense is like defensive. You know what I mean? You need
yeah,
a guy at the point that's dangerous. That's like, oh,
yeah,
oh, he's shooting. Get down. You know what I mean? Orlov can shoot.
yeah. No,
He
and
can
don't
shoot.
worry, no worries. You didn't interrupt me. I was just gonna add, that's the kind of signing I'm talking about because we liked Orlov for the Bruins, but how is signing Orlov to that kind of deal going to be beneficial to them? And do you trust Carolina's goaltending?
I do.
You
I
do.
do. The thing is right. Right, there's injury issues, right? Especially with Freddie Anderson. But he's solid when he's healthy, right? Antti Ranta's the perfect backup for them. He plays well within their system. But I love if they just gave Kochekov a chance, man. If they just gave that Russian kid a chance. He's amazing when he plays. I love watching him. You got to give the young blood a chance to play. You've seen in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and especially the teams that win the cup, they got a young goaltending. If I may name a few examples, Matt Murray with the Penguins, right?
Yep.
Cam Ward with the Canes back in 2006. He was like in his early 20s. Jordan Binnington 2019 with the St. Louis Blues. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, you can win with any kind of goalie, but there are notable teams that have won with really young goaltending. Fresh
Yeah.
young goaltending. You know what I
Yeah, but I
mean?
wouldn't call. I agree with you bringing the other guy. I'm full into that over Ronta. And I don't not like Freddie Anderson, but injuries, it is a thing for the Canes.
Right.
And they have a lot of other guys who are injury prone too. Svechnikov was out this whole playoffs. That's not good for them.
Amen. That
Um,
is not.
but they're a great team, but I don't know. I'm not riding that hype train right now. I kind of rode it a little bit last year. Like they were kind of my pick a little bit. Like I
Yeah.
had them going to the Eastern Conference Finals, but of course I had the Bruins beating them. Actually, no, I didn't. I'm a liar. That's not true. I put them against I put them against the Rangers, and I had the Rangers beating them.
I
Um,
had them in the cup.
no,
I had no like last year. I had them in the cup. I was like, oh yeah, they got it. But it's just you're right. Injuries can plague. They can plague a hockey team. You see it all the time. Teams that can stay healthy. It may be the reason why they never get to that hump. They never get to hoist it. You
yeah,
know, it may be that. But if they can just stay healthy, it's all them. It's
yeah,
all them.
and I'm not like disagreeing that they're a bad team. I just don't
No,
think that they're as good as these other two teams. And for all the crap I give the Rangers, I like the Rangers roster better than I like the Canes roster. I like that the Rangers roster is maturing and getting to that level. And as far as I've heard, this coach is really all in on their young guys, which I like. For Hito, for Lafreniere, for Kako, that he's looking to give them additional minutes, get them growing a little bit, which I think is the best thing for the Rangers. So that's why I put them ahead. I think the Rangers' goaltending is better. Their blue line is better. That's my opinion. It's not a
Igor
fact.
Shiesty.
Yeah,
Igor
yeah,
Shiesty's
yeah.
so good.
Like I still have him as my favorite to win the Vezina this year. I like him that much, and I think Fox is a stud. Fox is a
God, he's
legit
amazing to watch.
dude. He's so entertaining. So
He's so
that
good.
dude, if you really think about it, the Rangers have so many good players.
Oh my God,
Dude,
the
and it,
talent.
yeah, the talent on that roster. I said this for the past 2 years, man. There's so much talent. How are you not winning a cup? How? Like, ugh. Jeez,
Grit.
great. That has to be it.
Grit.
Well, they added some grit. We got Blake
You
Wheeler.
need grit.
We got Nick Bonino in New York now, so we'll see how that goes. They
That's
added,
good for them. That's
yeah,
good for them, though.
good
You need
pieces.
some veterans. You need some veterans.
Yeah, and we talked about Quick being in our last one. We talked about Quick being a good influence on Shesterkin to help him calm down in those big moments. No better goalie you want to be teaching your stud goalie than Jonathan Quick. Absolute legend. 3 cups. He knows what he's doing. And then we can go through the bottom part of the list too. The Penguins. The Penguins did a fantastic job in this free agency. They beefed up their bottom 6. That's their biggest issue. It's been their biggest issue. I love those additions for them. And they re-signed Tristan Jarry. I think it's a good signing for them. I think if he can stay healthy, that's going to be good for the Pens. And then obviously you have Crosby, Malkin, Gensel. Those guys are all studs. So they're going to keep going. And keep in mind, for people who didn't remember this, Chris Letang had a stroke last year and was out for a lot of the Pens season. So that does impact you when your best defenseman goes down like that. If that happened to the Rangers and Fox went out, or the Avs and Makar went out, we would all be giving them excuses. And the Penguins still almost made the playoffs by one game. One game. So
One game.
The butterfly effect. The Islanders, you know how I feel about the Islanders. Do you want me to go into that again? They're not bad. They're mediocre.
They have a good team. It's just the way they play is so. It's just not. It's not.
Yeah, and for some reason they can't. This is another thing, dude. They can't get star players. I don't know how they landed Bo Horvat. You see that they were like so in on Alex DeBrincat.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know how.
They every star player that they wanted passed on them.
Always.
Always passes on them. Then when they got Bo Horvat, Lou was like, "Oh my god, we got him, we got it," and then he just like paid him right away.
Yeah, and the contracts, man. You're literally like strapping yourself to these crazy contracts, and then it's like, I feel like the Islanders have had the same team for the past 10 years.
It feels like that.
It feels like it, right?
It feels like that.
Yeah, like outside of Sorokin, who is a beast. That's the only guy that I'm like excited to watch. Matt Barzal, kind of overrated maybe, but I want to see him develop.
It's just the system. The system he plays in, it does not fit him at all. I think.
To be fair too, though, he was injured too this year, so I'm not going to dog on Barzal. He dishes apples like nobody else I've ever seen. Like he can make plays, so I like Barzal for him. But who is he playing with? Bo Horvat.
If they just didn't play defense first, like I always see them play, they always play defense first. That's when I watch them. I don't watch like Islanders games much, but when I watch them, it's always defense first. If they just said like give the puck to Matt and just let him go, I feel like he would, go for Hatties and whatnot.
Yeah,
he's good.
Hey, what are you talking about? You don't just come home from like work on a Tuesday night, crack open a Coke, sit down and watch.
No one willingly watches the New York Islanders, buddy. Nobody does that. Ever.
Like, hey, an Islanders versus Flyers game at 10 p.m. on a Tuesday night?
Nope, do not put that on me. No one willingly says, "Oh, what'd you do last night?" I watched the Islanders game. Bro, we were going out and that's what you did? We went out and you watched the Islanders. Yeah, bro, they're my favorite team.
We talked about Columbus extensively. We think that they're going to be good in a couple years. They have everything going for them, and I'm going to watch a lot of their games this year just for Fantilli. The Flyers, absolute dumpster fire right now. They're rebuilding. And then the Capitals, we've talked about enough. So why don't we go ahead and at the end of this, we'll pick who we think is going to go to the playoffs. We can go through the Western Conference, and then we'll just give our summary of who we want to see in the playoffs next year. But why don't we head on over to the Central Division? Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. So Central Division, for my number 1 spot.
I'm getting on the glasses too.
Gotta get the glasses on? Okay.
This is a interesting division.
You got your Harry Potter glasses on. Let's go.
This is too small for my face.
I love it. No, it actually looks kind of steezy, bro. I like it.
I look so dumb.
No, you look steezy. Let's go. So Central Division. At number 1, I have the Dallas Stars. Number 2, the Colorado Avalanche. Number 3, the Minnesota Wild. Number 4, the Winnipeg Jets. Number 5, the St. Louis Blues. Number 6, the Chicago Blackhawks. Number 7, the Nashville Predators, and number 8, the Arizona Coyotes.
Yeah, that was obvious. Arizona at 8.
Yep. And what's yours?
I look at this division. Let me just say real quick.
Sure.
I forgot to put my central rankings in, but let me just say this. This is the one division I did do. I will say this division interests me a lot.
It does. Now, this was the most interesting one if you actually want to know. I had a hard time ranking this one.
I will say that I don't blame you. Because a team that I look at and I say, like, could probably sneak in, that's like in a retooling sort of phase.
Say
St.
it.
Louis.
Oh, no.
What?
Say the one I'm thinking.
I don't know which one you're thinking. Winnipeg?
Betsy.
Oh, not Chicago. Oh, get out of here. Not Chicago. Not Chicago. They still got nobody.
They got Betsy.
They have, I said it before, they have Jared Tenorti as a second pair defenseman. Do I
That's
need to
fine.
mention this again?
That's
Come on,
fine.
explain, while I try and figure this out, explain why Jared Tenorti on the second pairing is good and Chicago will, like, sneak in. Go ahead.
Listen.
Go.
The reason I think Chicago has a chance is the same reason you're about to tell me St. Louis has a chance. That division is wide open. Everybody's going through it. Minnesota has their playoff woes. They're still going to be a good team. I think the top 3, I think we both can agree they're making it. That wild card race, Winnipeg could be exploding. I put them there because I like their roster right now. But if Winnipeg changes their roster, that's going to change, right? St. Louis, I don't like their roster. I'll say it.
You don't?
No, I'm kidding. I don't think they're...
I need to chill out. I'm echoing.
Okay, that you're chilling. I don't think that St. Louis is going to make it. I don't hate their roster, but I definitely think they're on the back end. And I think that picking up Kevin Hayes is the only thing they did. And does that convince you that the Blues are going to be any better this year?
Nah, but oh my god, the echo's gonna kill me. They still have a decent core. You know what I mean? Where it's like,
What's their core, Marcus?
well, they got. Well, I mean, in terms of like, defense, they got Krug. I like Krug. I'm high on him. Justin Falk. I mean, I don't know what their goal. Kairu's good. They still got Buchnevich, right?
Yeah.
And shoot, what else is his name?
They have Hayes now.
They got Hayes and what's his name? It's not. Is it Schwartz?
Yeah,
He's
I
like
think
very
maybe.
young.
See, this is the problem. I don't know anything about St. Louis, and I don't care. I don't care. Like, again, I don't care. That's not going to get me pumped for the playoffs. You tell me this. What's better for hockey, Marcus? What is better for hockey? If the Blues make the playoffs or if Connor Bedard makes the playoffs in his first
now
year?
you got me because I love anything that helps the NHL grow.
Dude,
and yeah.
tell me how the Blues going back. They just won. Everybody knows they're rebuilding. If you're trying to sell on Torrey Krug, he shouldn't be in your core anymore. If you're Connor Bedard, if I'm the Blackhawks, I'm not done. Go get Willie. Go get Willie.
He's not going to go there. I don't
Go
think. That team has still got a ways to go. You can't look at it like it's a basketball team and say, oh, give the puck to... He's going to get quadruple teamed. You're clapping about that. He's going to get quadruple teamed. The kid's going to get eaten alive.
Oh, he's going to absolutely...
Perry.
He's going to shred defenses. He's going
Sure, he will, but he's probably going to get, like, eaten alive first few games. You never know.
Not a chance.
What do you mean not a chance? They got to give him some more help. He's going to be anticipating a play, like, halfway down the ice. He's going to be, yeah. And then, like, Tenorti's, like trying to fish a puck out of the corner.
Let him do his thing. Tenorti, I'm rooting for you, buddy. Tenorti, I'm your biggest fan. If Chicago wants to send me one Blackhawks jersey that I'll wear for the rest of my life, give me a Tenorti jersey. Absolute beauty. Absolute. All right. I'm just making the point that if St. Louis has a chance to make it because of what's going on with Winnipeg, Arizona's going through their woes, Nashville's clearly rebuilding, and can you agree that at least Chicago will finish higher than the Predators?
I mean, look. They still got Saros. God, I only hear my echo and I feel like bad.
You're not echoing. You're not. You're good.
Oh, I could hear it. Listen, the point is, Nashville still, I feel like they went sort of retool style, right? Getting Ryan O'Reilly and Gustav Nyquist, right? you still got Yossi, you still got Saros, you still got these big names, right? Yossi's he's always in contention to crack 100 points. You know what I'm saying? That's like, I can't see them, I can't see Chicago finishing high yet. They still got a ways to go. Their roster's not, I can't see their roster making the playoffs.
Okay, but I see them still finishing above the Preds because I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if the Preds at the trade deadline just sold Roman Yossi and Saros for picks for teams that were desperate.
That would be pretty convenient. But where would that leave? Like, you think about it. Where would it leave Ryan O'Reilly? He'd be like, "Wow, I just signed here, and you're just
Leave
getting
him
rid of me."
there. Dude's a bum.
Oh,
How dare you steal that cup from us?
oh yeah, no, we're
I
back
never
there.
want to hear Ryan O'Reilly again in my life. When somebody says he's better than Bergeron, he locked down Bergeron. Go pound sand. You clown. Stay in Nashville where your career will end. I love you, Ryan O'Reilly, but I hate you.
You're right. It is wide open though.
Yeah.
I look at this, and there's so many teams that could sneak in, and
Yeah.
this is the problem with the NHL. Every team could make it.
But I love that.
I love that too. But it's so hard for guys like us to look at teams and be like, oh, it's easy to predict this. It's hard to do this.
This was the one I really had a hard time with. Who was the other one that I had a little bit of a tough time with here? No, I didn't
Winnipeg?
really. I still put the Blues above. Winnipeg was the one I had the toughest time with, and I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie, I wanted to put them above the Wild.
Oh my goodness,
And
really?
if they were high, if they were keeping their team,
Yeah.
it blows my mind because, dude, I like their core, and I love that trade they made with the Kings. I really do. I don't
That
think.
was yeah.
Yeah, I wish they made one more addition though, because they lost Wheeler, who I do think is a little bit underrated as like their leader, but maybe a change of scenery and captaincy and stuff like that will be good for the club. But I still like the Jets, man. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
And the
they
one
got good pieces. They got good pieces from that trade.
and the one thing
Wheeler
that I
is
think
so
is
high.
yeah, no, agreed. And the one thing I think is a little bit underrated about the Wild though, you know that their goalie Gustafson was like second in the league last year.
What do you mean second in the league in like save percentage?
Save percentage, goals against average.
You're telling me he snuck in? Hold on, I'm on the NHL app right now.
Yeah, check it out. I don't think
Let
he
me
played.
check that
But
for
like,
you.
listen like this. He played a lot less games.
Oh my god, he was.
Yeah, he was really good. Underrated guy last year. I don't know how he did. How many games did he play, man? Does it say right there for you?
Hold on, let's click on him. Click on him.
Because they also have Marc-Andre Fleury, so I'm guessing the time was pretty evenly split.
He played 39 games. Went 22 and 9.
Dude,
7 overtime losses.
dude, he was legit. Legit.
Give this guy the starting role.
I don't
Give
know
him the
how, I
role.
don't know how he didn't get. Well, Fleury obviously did pretty good.
Fleury's Yeah, Fleury's good, but he's getting old. Just let him play backup.
But I think Gustafson was starting in the playoffs, man.
In the playoffs, he went 2 and 3.
Yeah, so he started. They did the goalie tandem thing that everybody thought Boston was going to do. They started Fleury game 1. No, Gustafson game 1, Fleury game 2, and then Gustafson played the last 4.
Yeah, in the games Fleury was in, it was like brutal.
A 7-1, right? It was something
It was
stupid. He got
brutal.
blown out.
I was watching. I was like, get him out, please save his misery.
I know, and he has one more year on his deal. So Fleury will probably be backing up this year. If the Wild know what's good for them, they'll back up with Fleury,
Yeah.
or just do what the Bruins are doing. That's a good tandem with that. So that's why I put the Wild above the Jets, because I was like, he's a stud, and I watched that Dallas game too. And
They got to give him They got to give Gustafson the start. I
Yeah.
mean, come on.
Who else are you gonna start for?
Like, it's just the gold pads they want to show off. That's why.
Dude, they're sick.
They're so cool.
They're
Those are so sick. But it's like
Dude.
that's all they want to show anymore. I feel bad for Fleury, but it's like, dude, your time. Move to the next guy in line. Seriously, it's one of
But
those like.
Fleury could still help out a team.
Yeah, but it's like Minnesota's got to realize, like we said, they're the new like Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
Get you a guy who's gonna like help you out.
They need to break that like first round thing, and Fleury's not going to be it, but Gustafson could. So that's going to be our Central Division, and let's go to the Pacific. Marcus, did you write down your Pacific?
Yes, I did. I wrote
All right,
down.
why don't you do the honors, you
All right.
scumbag, and go
All
ahead
right,
and put them.
get out of here. Hear me out. I got Vegas at 1 because the Vegas, right? There's no denying that the defending Cup champions are probably gonna absolutely wipe this division. Edmonton at second, they still can't win a division at all for some reason. We'll continue that. We're continuing the tradition. Third, Los Angeles. We're kind of keeping it the same from last year because, I mean, I think they got better getting PLD. They still, can bring in some young guys and whatnot through their system. Four, give me the Kraken because they still got dogs. They still got a good roster and they play so amazing off the rush. Five, Calgary. They got a team, but they'll just miss it. They'll just miss it still. You know what I'm saying? They'll just miss it. Six, Ducks. Ducks. They still haven't signed. Zegras and Terry, but they will. There's no doubt about it, people. You know what I'm saying? And I love the Ducks. I'm so high on Anaheim. I could just put them on a platter and just serve it to somebody. San Jose, 7, and then Vancouver 8. There you go.
Okay.
I listen.
Yo, you're Canucks hate, my guy. That is
I had a
crazy.
dream. Let me explain.
Oh, here we go.
I had a dream that they traded everyone, and they said, "Let's just get it over with. Let's just send everybody out and just rebuild it."
Bro,
And
your hate
that's
for the
why-
Canucks is unmatched.
I know, you
It's
don't like
bad.
the Rangers. I don't like the Canucks. I think they could just get rid of everybody and just restart it.
Don't get that twisted. I don't like the Islanders. I want the Rangers to be good.
Right, but I just
I'm
don't see
here for
Vancouver
the
doing
Rangers.
anything.
Okay, so
I don't
let me
see
let
it.
me read off mine and then we'll see, okay? Because I
Yeah.
actually have completely different from you. This is
Alright.
the one that we totally different on, and you're gonna probably roast me for this. Number 1, Los Angeles Kings. Number 2, Golden Knights. Number 3, Oilers. Number 4, Flames. Number 5, the Kraken. Number 6, the Ducks. Number 7, the Canucks. Number 8, the Sharks. And let me just start off with this. The Kings made serious improvements to their roster. We can talk about that Pierre-Luc Dubois thing. Adding a top 2 center is a huge move. Locking him down for 8 years, another great move. Pierre-Luc Dubois is only 24 years old, and he was playing on a Jets team where, again, they had a really tough time with direction this year. So I see him thriving on a team like that and learning from one of the best two-way centers in the league with Kopitar.
Oh my God.
That's a plus. Now, the reason I'm a little bit hesitant with the Kings, but I see this as a plus and a minus, their goaltending. They lost Cal Pedersen, I'm pretty sure, and they lost Jonathan Quick. So I don't know who they're running with this year, to be honest.
Was it
They had a third
no,
guy.
Corpusalo went to Ottawa, so
Yep.
it's got to be
They have another guy. I don't know his name. He played for
Copley.
them. Copley. That's it. I don't want them to run with Copley. Go get someone else. But I still really like that Kings roster a lot. And I think they signed Kopitar to a really good deal too. So to me, I think the Kings will come away with it. And I think the Vegas Golden Knights are going to be a little bit burnt out for the regular season. I don't think you're going to see them coming out with as much mojo. The Knights, I have at number 2 because they lost Riley Smith. And I think that's a big loss for them. I think it's a huge voice in the locker room. I think that their goaltending this year, I don't want to say it's a fluke, but you don't know how that's going to go. Let me see halfway through the season.
I think I agree with you on that. Vegas for me, I look at because they gave Aiden Hill the bag.
Yeah.
They gave Aiden Hill the bag because
Well
because
deserved.
he played so well in the playoffs, right? But now I look at how many goalies they have. What are they gonna do?
They have 4, right?
This is like trying to figure out a quarterback room
Yeah.
in the NFL. Well, I mean, you could say that for any team. But look, you have Logan Thompson, who played great in his rookie season. I know he was a dog. Robin Leonard, he's a big guy. He can cover a lot of net. He's a dog, right? Now you're on your third string guy, and you gave him $5 million for 2 years. What are you going to do, Bruce?
I have
Where
the
are you
answer.
going to go with that?
I have the answer.
All right, go ahead.
Trade Robin Leonard.
Okay, yeah, that's probably where we were going.
Easy. Those
That's
two.
probably where we
That guy, dude, I saw so many reports in the offseason. He went bankrupt for doing some stuff.
Well, yeah,
Like,
didn't he like bet and
yeah,
stuff
he's
like that?
he's kind of a jerk off too, isn't he?
Or he had like like a side business going on
Yeah,
or whatever.
he's kind of a. I don't trust Robin Leonard.
Hold
You
on,
know.
wait, wait. I want to. I remember this. I saw a Puck
He
Empire thing
went
about it.
bankrupt for like selling illegal fish or something like that, wasn't it?
What illegal fish?
I don't know.
Fox
I'm taking a guess.
Chapter 7 bankruptcy. So, guy had surgery on both his hips this last offseason. And April 5th, he was facing fraud. He was accused of fraud. Wait, what? Wait, what is Robin Leonard on, bro? What
It's the
is going
Buffalo
on?
effect. When you leave Buffalo for some reason, dude, he was Buffalo's goalie, and then I think he went right there, split time with Fleury. Wasn't happy that he was splitting time with Fleury. The
Yeah.
Knights trade him after his Vezina season. He gets the pipes, and now he's done nothing since then. So
So he's he's been making false and misleading representation. Uh what? How much is he in debt? This guy.
uh,
They don't know what to do with him, man.
this is another off ice thing. I'm sending him away. If I don't think any team's gonna trade him, but I'm not starting him. I would rather go ahead and roll with Aiden Hill and then make Logan Thompson my second guy and run
Yeah.
those two. Who's the other one? They have Brossois. Is that his name? Brossois.
I think Boursois might have gone somewhere, but I think he's still there. I don't
If
know.
he's still in Vegas, big ups, Bruce. Big ups. Also, just as a side topic for the Vegas Golden Knights, it absolutely crushed my heart to see Bruce Cassidy in the Cape Cod with the Stanley
Oh
Cup.
my God! Wait, can we just talk about that real quick?
Yeah.
My friends got hella photos with Jack Eichel today.
No.
They got so every single one of most of my friends went to his little thing. I don't know where it was, but they took so many photos with the guy, and that's like where I
Where
was looking
was
at it.
it?
What? I don't know. I could look it up again, but if I may say this real quick, I see parallels sort of with Bruce Cassidy bringing the cup back to Massachusetts to sort of Ray Bork when he went to remember when we gave Ray Bork to Colorado
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and then he won the cup and he brought it back to Massachusetts, and that me seeing Bruce Cassidy come back to Massachusetts with the cup when we just gave him up, it's like a parallel where it's like we're in for it these next few years with the Bruins.
Yeah.
We're in for some dark days. I feel like that's sort of like a greater world thing, something we cannot explain, but that's just a parallel I want to
Yeah,
say.
like a glimpse of what to come sort of thing.
Yeah, a former Bruins player wins the cup immediately after he leaves the Bruins, brings it back to Mass, and we're all like celebrating, like, yay, we totally like
We did
did
it!
that.
Yes!
No, we didn't.
No, we
No, you
lost in
did
the
not.
first round after having a 3-1 lead.
You didn't do nothing. You're watching him have fun. We can't have fun. He went to, sorry, going back to Jack Eichel, he went to Chelmsford.
Dude, I would have been in Chelmsford today if I knew about that.
He brought it to Skate 3, a skating rink in Tingsboro, Massachusetts. He started playing hockey at the rink when he was 4 years old, and he still visits it to this day. So that's
Huh.
where he was.
Well, we got to be more on top of that. We got to be in some places where these guys are going. I want
I
to go.
didn't know it was happening. I'm
I
not
want to
gonna
meet
joke.
Jack Eichel, dude, so bad.
I didn't know it
Absolutely
was happening.
one of my favorite players in the league. In Chell, bro, I rock number 9 when I play because I love Jack Eichel. He's my guy.
He is a great player.
And then let's just finish up with this list. I put the Oilers at 3. You put them at 2. What convinces you that the Oilers are going to get that 2 spot again?
I just feel like, McDavid and Draisaitl, they're just going to, like, carry the team once again, put them on their shoulders. You know what I'm saying? The top 6 will do their thing, right? And they may have some, bottom 6 guys that come through. I can't see them, like, not absolutely popping off with the talent they have. You know what I mean? I could see where you put LA that high. I just kind of, with the Pacific, I just felt like going the same route as, like, last year, because I feel like all 4 of those teams from Vegas down to Seattle could just, do it again.
Sure. And I think the one I
Yeah,
was the least high on was the Kraken again. I'm a little
because they
bit.
did lose a lot
Yeah, I think
in
maybe
terms of
it's.
players.
No, no, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. I want to hear what you had to say about that.
For me, it was like I saw, Geeky came to Boston, Susie went to like Vancouver, and I'm looking at it, it's like, God, in the headlines, they're losing players left and right, but they still got guys like Burakovsky, that notably I can think of. They still got Beniers. Wright's going to come up through the ranks. Shane Wright, he's going to come up through the ranks. That's going to be interesting to watch. Most of the team's still together. It's just you lost some players.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
the
I
only
can see what you're
addition
looking at.
was Yamamoto, right? That was the only big.
Yeah, Seattle native,
Yeah.
right?
So I don't think that's enough. Again, it's not necessarily me being down on the Kraken, I guess is what I was trying to say. I think the Flames are going to have a better year next year.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I would love to see them get Nylander. I think maybe I kind of forgot that they had Tyler Toffoli leave, which I think is going to be a big loss for them,
Yeah.
to be honest.
So
Um,
this is all the Nylander business you're on about.
well,
This is all the
okay.
Nylander
So before
business.
I
You're
made
like,
this list, I gotta be real honest with you. I forgot that they lost Tyler. They forgot Tyler
I'm looking.
Toffoli. Yeah. So to maybe I would say you're going to see an arms race for those two teams to get that fourth spot.
The NHL arms race.
Yeah. And maybe the Ducks.
I love Trevor Zegras so
I love
much.
Leo Carlson. I love Trevor Zegras. I love Troy Terry. I love John Gibson.
He
Give me the
signed.
Ducks.
He signed, right? He signed his entry level.
Oh, Leo Carlson. Yeah.
Carlson, yeah. So we're gonna see Zegras, Carlson, and Terry. They're gonna cook it up, and then they're gonna just like make the sixth seed. But it's still gonna be fun to watch.
It's gonna be okay because it's gonna be entertaining. It'll be like Columbus, man. Imagine the game that's gonna be when Columbus and the Ducks play. Imagine saying you would want to watch a Ducks versus Blue Jackets game last year or something like before like Zegers entered the league or like you had Gaudreau and Line over there. Dude, I'm sorry, that's going to be the most entertaining game of the year. That should be like a primetime, like new Wednesday night rivalry sort of thing. That's going to
I
be so good.
I have to say the thing is like the way the NHL markets now. We may get a bit off topic, but I don't care how many old farts think Zegras is a bum and he's
I hate
dumb.
that.
I don't like that at all. For the Zegras haters, you can shove it. Shove it. He's the new age. He sucked this past year. His sophomore season was bad. He didn't have a team. He didn't have a team, bro.
Yeah.
They got rid of so many of his teammates, and the guy's just having fun.
Yeah. Let me say this to all the old timers talking about hockey. I love innovation in hockey. Let me give a couple shout out to some social media guys who are amazing. Pavel Barber, Zach Bell, How to Hockey, all those guys, Elevate02. Keep innovating the game. You inspired guys like Zegers to go and do that stuff. Zegers is
Nasher.
inspiring. Yeah, Nasher. You're inspiring all of these generations of kids to do the most insane things in hockey. Sometimes, man, I see that stuff. My mind gets blown when I see Zegers playing. When he was doing that warmies thing with one of the goalies, right through the legs, tap it forward in the air, playing like it's lacrosse, you can't tell me that's not good for hockey.
I didn't think you could do that with a hockey stick.
No.
I didn't know you could do that with a hockey stick.
And that's what's great about it is we're learning new things and the game keeps growing. Look at a sport like baseball. There's not much change happening with that. When you see hockey coming up with all these crazy new ideas, ways to play, innovations, look at what like this generation and this particular NHL draft is going to do for the league. It's going to go insane. Dude, Adam Fantilli in his first like practice with the Ducks in development camp is pulling off of Michigan. Keep it going. Dude, I love that. When you
You mean
saw
with
that,
Columbus? Or was
yeah,
or was it like a tryout with the Ducks that he was
development
doing?
camp in Columbus.
Oh yeah, I saw that too, and that's cool, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's stuff people want to see. Where it's like, I didn't know this guy could do that. Like
Yeah.
what?
Like, I'm
And
sorry, I don't want to watch plumbers skating up the ice and slap shotting it into a goalie who has no padding on. That's
I don't
not
want to see.
hockey.
I don't want to
Respect.
see fundamentals and Canada winning it every year. That's a diss because we're 2021 world champs
Facts.
in the World Juniors. Y'all just don't like Zegras because he beat y'all in the World Juniors. That's it.
Cole Caulfield and Zegers, man, they're the most exciting players that I think I want to watch. And then once this draft starts getting developed, then they're going to be really fun to watch too.
Yeah, have you heard what I forget which Canadians player said it, but they said like, yeah, he walked into the locker room and he's literally like got a smile on his face. They're like, what is this rookie doing? He's being himself.
He loves hockey.
Let him be himself. Let
He
these
loves
players be
hockey.
themselves.
Let him love the sport. Let him keep doing what he's doing because I think the dude is innovating in every single way he possibly can. So I'm fine with it. Genuinely, to anybody who hates on Trevor Zegras, you just don't know puck.
Goodbye. Sit
Yeah,
on your porch.
yeah. Go smoke your cigar, sit on your porch, and reminisce about the plumbers. Like, jeez. Yeah. Now we wanted to do a little. You wanted to do something, so I'll let you take
Yeah.
over for Marcus's little segment for our final segment of this podcast. Go ahead,
Oh
Marcus.
yeah. What was it? What was it? We had
Logos.
Oh yeah. So I love nothing more in sports than a good logo, right? Jimmy, I don't know how you feel about logos, but I like
Love
love
logos. I
logos,
love
right?
logos.
So let's do it like this. So I'm gonna give you a team. I think I might have seen Nasher do this, but I also feel passionate about this. Shout out Nasher if he did this. I think I might have like swiped once to see like his thing, and I swiped right after it because you know how TikTok is. So I'm gonna give you a team, right? And I'm going to give you a team, and you're gonna say, do they go back to what they used to have, or do they keep what they had,
Okay.
right? And we'll start small and simple. So the Anaheim Ducks, do they keep the duck foot, or do they go back to the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim?
So this is a great start. Absolutely go back to the old logo. There is no worse transition from the greatest logo in NHL history to the worst. That duckbill has got to go. Anaheim had the best jerseys, the best colors, and the best logo in the NHL. Go back.
There you go.
There's
All
no
right,
arguing that. I don't even want to hear any debate about that from anybody because that
all
logo
right,
they
all
have
right.
is way worse.
So you wanna let's continue on right away.
Yep.
So do you want to do? Let's see. Oh, I got one. I got one. People are gonna call me crazy for this one. My opinion, personally, I think you might feel the same. You might feel different.
Okay.
Do the Capitals? Does Washington keep the wordmark logo with the eagle, or do they go back to that flying eagle they had back in the early and late '90s?
So like the one without the eagle, right?
The
And then to the
so
eagle,
so for Washington, you get the wordmark logo,
and then the
or
eagle.
do you go back, or because they mostly use that eagle all the time, or do you go back to that like flying eagle with the claw?
So personally, I think you go back to the flying eagle with the claw, but also you have one of the greatest players probably to ever play the game wearing that wordmark logo. It's like etched in an era of time. And
Right.
like when you think of Capitals Ovechkin, you think of that logo. I don't like it. I think it's kind of basic, but I
I
do think
like
it
it.
fits with Ovechkin. I'm gonna go with the eagle because I love the black threads.
I like to go with the word mark. I think the word mark is just you're right. What you said, the logo is just like that speaks Ovechkin. It screams like
Yeah.
that's the Alex Ovechkin era. And not only that, I really like the italicized, how it looks on the jersey. I think it's pretty badass. Sorry for my
Yeah,
language, people.
and I completely agree. It's etched in time as Ovechkin. You couldn't make me mad either way. I just do.
Mm,
I think one of my favorite jerseys in NHL history is that Flying Eagle black jersey, the reverse retro
okay,
one. That was clean.
okay, okay.
That was clean.
I'll give you one more. Okay, so we don't like lose this entirely, so we can keep doing it.
Sure. Yeah.
And this is like the biggest debate for me, and you're gonna laugh at me about it. But does Vancouver keep
Oh,
the Canuck, or do they go back to the skate?
now that's brutal because, dude, those are both insanely good logos. Okay.
So this is our logo matchup of the day.
Okay. So do I go to the Vancouver Canucks now or the skate? So can I say something between that?
What do you mean between it? What's
I
between
want
it is
I want the colors to be their colors. The skate jersey colors to be their color. I
so
love
red,
the
black,
gold, red,
and
and black. I don't know if that would look good on their current logo though.
it may not. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Because like to put a
ugh.
fish with like red and black, it's like what? You know what I
Okay,
mean?
okay. I have my answer.
Go.
I like their current logo for their team logo. I like the jersey and the skate logo to be their alternative jersey.
Okay, that's cool. I don't know why. For some reason, I can't say I'm exactly a fan of the skate one. I don't know why. I don't know why. When I look at it, because it's like it doesn't fit the Canuck. The Canuck is supposed to be the fish. It's supposed to be the killer whale, right? And they got that killer whale, and it kind of looks pretty sick. So when I look at it, right, I'm like, that's cool. But then when I look back, I'm like, why is it a skate? You know?
So, okay, so
Is there a history behind that?
I don't know what the history is exactly behind it, but I think they've done some of the craziest jersey iterations. I actually like most of their logos, like their minor league team. I love that logo they did for their reverse retros this year. The Johnny Canuck, amazing. So the Canucks to me, they have some of the flyest jerseys, the best sweaters you'll ever see in your life. That skate one is up in my like top 10. That is such a sick jersey, dude. So to me, I just don't see, I agree with you on this part. The Canucks skate logo, it wouldn't look good on like when you're looking at like NHL.com and you look at the logos. It wouldn't fit there. Like it doesn't look like an NHL logo. Like it looks like an alternate logo. But it's the best alternate logo ever made.
Really?
Like
Ever?
well, maybe not ever. It's one of like it's got to be top 5. Got to be top 5.
Just top 5.
Yeah. I would love to ask you your top 5 jerseys, but I'm going to save that for another day. To me, one of my favorite jerseys of all time, just like siding off that, is the Quebec
Yeah.
Nordiques jersey.
Oh
That
my
is
God, you can't go
that is
wrong
the
with those.
sickest jersey I've ever seen. And my favorite like reamp of it was when the Avs did their color scheme
Maroon.
with the Quebec one. Oh, that looks so fresh, dude.
The
I
maroon
love
looks amazing.
I also am a really big fan of the Minnesota Wild St. Paul jerseys that they wore for the Winter Classic.
Yeah, people did not like
I
those.
don't get it.
They didn't like those at all, and it's because of the line across the top. I'm like, bro, vintage stuff looks cool.
That one was like
Vintage,
perfect vintage. A
vintage
perfect.
looks so sick. When I look at
Yeah.
that, I'm like, I don't like the where they try to do the Minnesota North Stars with like the current Wild logo because it looks like I'm trying to like order something at Subway. I'm sorry, that looks awful. It's the worst. Like everyone's like, "Oh, I love that. That's a great reverse retro." I'm like, "Get it out of your top 5."
I like
I'm
it.
not trying to order a foot long.
I like it.
I don't like it at all. Hi,
I
I'll have a 6-inch BLT, please. No,
Marcus, let me just paint a picture for you. You buy that jersey. It's stitched with Kirill Kaprizov on the
and
back.
I'm selling it to get
That's
a
that's
return.
that's a trash opinion.
I'm returning that jersey.
I just lost like very very little amounts of respect for you.
I'm returning it, and I'd probably get a different variation because it does not fit the Bear logo they have. I don't like it. I can't say I like it. It looks like Subway. I'm not ordering subs, bro. I'm making my own at home.
I'm genuinely gonna like make you do a tier list with me about the reverse retro jerseys
Yeah,
because I feel
sure.
like
That's
our
fine.
opinions about jerseys are like completely different. Just from this
Sure.
5 minute conversation, I have an idea that you have a trash taste in jerseys.
What do you mean a trash taste? Look at this one.
Okay, that one's a
Look at
beaut.
that.
That one's a beaut, but
Look at that.
that one's a beaut. Okay, hang on, hang on. I feel like you're gonna pick like the ones that are like, okay,
What
listen.
is this?
Honestly, sick, but not the one I'm talking about. Okay.
Oh,
But I like that. I like what the logos was. So keep doing that. I like that. That was fun. But I do think the Canucks should stick with their current one. I think it fits the NHL a little bit more.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
All right. Well, I think that pretty much sums up our podcast for today, guys. We've been going for a little bit longer than we wanted to. I guess we'll keep our playoff predictions for when the season comes. I think you kind of could get an idea of what we wanted our playoff pictures to be just from our
Yeah, and
top.
we'll definitely like we'll go back into like what we think our divisions are gonna look like when the off season like concludes.
Yeah,
You know what
the
I mean?
beginning of the
Definitely.
season. Yeah, for sure. But we'll have to revisit this and then we'll talk about it some more throughout the season. But yeah, thank you guys for watching or listening to this podcast. In case you guys didn't know, if you're watching this on YouTube or Spotify, we are on YouTube and Spotify. So make sure you go follow us on Spotify, subscribe to us on YouTube, and comment what you think about this episode. If you think Marcus has trash taste in jerseys, let him know.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Wow. Wow.
I think that's a great sign off as ever. We'll see you guys in the next episode of the Top Shelf Podcast. Peace.